Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man walah, amma ba'd, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, hadith number 91 is an Anas radiyallahu anhu anna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam akhadha sayfan yawma Uhud فقال من يأخذ مني هذا فبسطوا إليهم كل إنسان منهم يقول أنا. Hadith Anas radiallahu anhu, he mentions that on the day of Uhud, meaning during the battle of Uhud, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he took up a sword, he held it up and he said, "Who will take this from me?" All of the Sahaba, they stretched out their hands and they said, Ana, I will take it, I will take it. Up until this point, we see the eagerness of the Sahaba, each one ready to take on this task or this mission that the Prophet ﷺ wants to put them upon. Then he said, فَمَنْ يَأْخُذُهُ بِحَقِّهِ, who will take this sword and fulfill its haqq? Who will take the sword and fulfill its haqq? فَأَحْجَمَ الْقَوْمِ, and the rest, the Sahaba then hesitated. They stopped. Because immediately they realized it's not just about taking the sword and joining the battle. This is something special. The Prophet ﷺ expects something here. He expects us to fulfill this, the rights of the sword, which means, it could either mean you do not fight until you die, or you fight until the sword breaks, some of the scholars said. You continue fighting with the sword until it breaks. So the Sahaba realized and they stopped. فَأَحْجَمَ الْقَوْمِ فَقَالَ أَبُو دُجَانَةَ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ. One of the companions, he was known as Abu Dujaanah. He stood up and he said, أَنَا آخِذُهُ بِحَقِّهِ, I will take the sword and fulfill its rights. فَأَخَذَهُ, he took it. فَفَلَقَ بِهِ هَامَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ رواه الْمُسْلِمِ, and he fought with it and he cut off the heads of the mushrikeen with it. فَفَلَقَ بِهِ هَامَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Imam Nawawi rahimahullah mentions هَامَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ means رؤوسهم, the heads. فَلَقَ means شَقَّ, which means he cut it off. He destroyed it, he decapitated them with the sword. This is the hadith which is in Sahih Muslim. Our hadith has various virtues attached to it, or fawaid, should I say, benefits. And from its benefits is, number one, the idea of being hasty towards jihad, which is what the Sahaba showed in this hadith. Number two, it shows us فضل Abu Dujaanah radiallahu anhu, the virtue of this companion known as Abu Dujaanah radiallahu anhu. His name was Simak ibn Kharashah. Simak ibn Kharashah, this is his name. His kunya was Abu Dujaanah. This shows his virtue and his bravery. Another benefit from this hadith is that it's incumbent upon every person أن يبادر بالخير ولا يتأخر. Every person should be hasty to do righteous deeds. Whatever he can fulfill of goodness, he should do this and he should not delay. وأن يستعين بالله عز وجل. Take your opportunity and seek help from Allah Azza wa Jal. استعين بالله ولا تعجز. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, put your trust in Allah, seek Allah's help, and do not hesitate. Do not fail. Do not be someone who's incapable. The one who puts his trust in Allah, seeks Allah's help, and thinks the highest of Allah, thinks good of Allah, أعانه Allah. Allah's help will definitely be with him. And lastly, there's another benefit the ulama mentioned on this hadith, and that is خشية تحمل الأمانة لمن ظن في نفسه أنه يضعف عنها. Which means, if a person fears that he is not able to fulfill an amana, then he should not entrust himself with it. If you see something, there's a job that needs to be done, there's a task that needs to be done, there's a role that needs to be fulfilled in your home, in the community, at work, in the masjid, but you know that you are not equipped to do this role. You do not possess the qualities, the qualifications to fulfill this role. This is an amana that you are taking on. If you do not fulfill it, you are sinful. You will be held accountable for it. This is a benefit the scholars derive from this hadith. How so? When Rasulullah sallallahu who will take the sword, everybody said, me. I'll take it. When he said, who will fulfill its haqq? Sahaba stood back. They stood back because they realized this is not just a simple thing of doing the job. No, this job has conditions. This job has to be done correctly. So let me rather think twice about this. So the scholars derive this benefit, which is very important for us to take in any sphere of life. If there's a job that needs to be fulfilled, understand it's an amana. You are not doing something just for yourself, it's for everyone, it's for community. If you cannot fulfill the amana, step away. Or else you will be held accountable by Allah Azza wa Jal, and even by maybe the entire community. So always remember, an amana, you have to fulfill your amanas. If you do not fulfill your amana, then you are sinful. Wallahu a'lam. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to grant us tawfiq to fulfill all of our responsibilities and to make us of those who are always at the forefront to do all forms of good. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.